Welcome everyone to my Mad DK Dragon Bones patch outline of my character. This patch particularly took a huge toll on Dragonknights in general. It's quite a disappointment being my main character, but I just want to go over CP. Anyone interested in improving their Mad DK, anyone who likes direct damage, melee, who isn't Stam, who, still wants to kind of play this character. It is doable. Testing wise, I'm still hitting 35 to 37k solo, just with LE Drain. It's pretty impressive, so I just want to keep these guys in the loo with you. Okay, so first of all, to start, I am a Dark Elf, which is the best class and preferred class for any type of flame damage race. I have all 64 in the magic. Right now, currently, I have the Witch Mother's brew for food. This isn't technically a must-have. This is if you are low on sustain, if you're testing, or if you just need it solo. When I usually run trials, I go with the Solitude Salmon. So with that, that's more equal to what my stats are like. So it's pretty good. Anyways, so right now I had the Lover Mundus Stone on. This isn't technically what you need to have. You should have the Apprentice, which would boost me up to at least 2600 spell damage, 25, which is more ideal for trials. But since I am a trials person, I specifically run Lover most of the time unless we have a lot of penetration and a lot of buffs in our group. I am stage 4 Vampiris. This is something I prefer. It's not something you need to do. Anyways, so a little bit about the build. They're very good with AoE, direct damage, if you'd like melee. If you don't want to do Stam. Like I said, they took a huge hit. One of our main skills as a Mag DK, which is Whip, has Flame Lash has decreased its off time on going off balance, even with Moral Tomb Trap. So it's kind of a bummer. On the DPS test, which I posted in one of my other videos, I am putting Trap into a rotation like I usually would, dual flame, and I'm not getting any off balance. So if you are bringing this person into a raid, this character into a raid, you need to make sure that your healers have off balance, or your Sorks, you have more Sorks in the group, and you have more of that uptime to get off balance, if this character will even be successful of hitting over 30k. So let's go into skills here. On my front bar, I always run, lately I've been running Maelstrom Inferno Staff infused on my front bar with the Flame Enchant. This bar, or this Maelstrom weapon, is extremely important with kind of upping you in DPS too. And you have to be perfect with your light attacks and heavy attacks, so you should have a good rotation before you even consider popping this bad boy on your bar. But anyways, I run Moon Dancer on the back bar. Right now I only have it as sharpened. I'm in the works of testing this gear out with this dual flame. I used to run a back bar of lightning, which didn't really heighten my DPS more. I used to, with the lightning, I was at least last patch with 39k DPS solo, but that kind of bumped me out with having blockade of lightning on back bar. It got kind of tricky, so I just kind of went back to what I used to run. And then anyways, I run 3 pieces Moon Dancer. Still purple. I'm still working on getting gold. It's tough, but it is what it is. Right now, for testing purposes, I was running Grothgar, medium, and then a heavy piece. And then 5 pieces Burning Spellweave, all light, all divines, all gold. If I were to run trials, I don't usually run Grothgar unless I go into dungeons. I usually run Velkin Scoria into trials. It's more direct damage. It's better for boss damage, more uptime too. So Divine's heavy, and Divine's medium, just the opposite there. Anyway, so skill-wise, on my good old Inferno front bar, I have been running long time DK, Blockade of Fire, Inner Light, Engulfing Flames, which is a 10-second dot, Burning Embers is a 10-second dot, and Flame Lash. So this patch I tried Molten Whip. It actually gave me less DPS. So I'm just going to keep, and I suggest keeping on Flame Lash. It's up to you, for the purpose of, if you are going to bring this character into a trial, which I still will, you know, if you have the off balance coming in, then the Flame Lash will just give you more off balance. So it's a win-win, and it's also a lose. On the front bar, I run Fury Rage, which is the Destro ultimate. It's very strong. If I'm testing, I will run Shooting Star, which is kind of like Meteor, which you get on the Flame abilities, or the Mage's Skill abilities, sorry. On my back bar, I run Eruption, Flames of Oblivion, which is a 15-second dot. So with this, you have to remember that this goes every 5 seconds. So 5 seconds when you cast it, 5 seconds during your rotation, another 5 seconds, and then 5 seconds until it ends. So this is something I time specifically. Trap now seems like it's completely pointless unless you're Stam. So what you could incorporate, which I have done in the past, is Deep Breath, or you can do the Destro ability, which is Impulse if you morph it. This is good to try and work into a rotation, and so is Deep Breath. I have worked in Deep Breath into my rotations before, and it's done well. So, especially if you're in Maw, or anywhere that needs off balance, or interruption. We're really good at interrupting. I also run Harness Magica, which is the ward. Should be self-explanatory under light armor. And then I run Molten Armagets, unless I'm using spell pots. So with Molten Armagets, you kind of get, it's good for stand too, you get your fully heavy tax is increased by 40% while active, especially if I'm testing. This is like a must now. I throw this on at the beginning, and then I don't have to pop a power pot. So I kind of save myself, and I'm still be able to hit 34 to 37k. I run Standard of Might. This is a must. This is what makes us a Dragonknight. This is one of the best ultimates. This is just self-explanatory. It actually, the best thing about this is you call down a battle standard dealing a shit ton of flame damage every 1 second for 17 seconds. You also reduce their healing received and health recovery by 30%. Also, standing in the area, let's say during a trial, reduces your damage taken. So, by 15%. It's pretty good. It's a synergy too, which is excellent. Anyways, so, the gist of that is, you can kind of incorporate this. If you're in a trial and you need Crushing Shock, I would prefer Crushing Shock over Force Pulse on this character. I have used it. It would go on your back bar. This does not have to be, something you can do all the time. If you don't have a Maelstrom staff, you can use another Moon Dancer staff. You can also run Lightning on back bar, Flame on front bar, run Blockade of Lightning on back bar. What that does is it gives you more off balance, but that's really pointless this patch, so you kind of just have to work with what you have. Besides gear, we'll go into CP. So champion points haven't changed too much this patch, just a little bit more into some things. So under the ritual, I have now 81 into Thermitage. I used to have 75. So now we need more of that damage overtime effects. We need more time there. I also run 40 into Master at Arms. I used to run way less, like 20. This is important because it increases your damage done to direct target, especially if you're melee. The Apprentice, I have 37 in Elfborn, 45 in the Spell Erosion, and 37 in the Elemental Expert. This is optional. You can have between 40 and 50 here. I don't prefer it, but it's up to you. The Shadow, I have 37 in the Shadow Ward and 37 in the Tumbling. This is important, especially being melee, to break free. The Lover, I have 75 in Arcanist, 54 in Tenacity. This is important for heavy attacks, especially this patch. And then I have 37 in the Warlord, 20 in the Bastion this patch. Preferred 20, at least 10 to 20, just so we can, it's a little bit more effective, especially with how much damage we're taking, or it's cost effective, honestly. 49, this hasn't changed at all. 49 into Hardy, 49 into Elemental Defender, and 48 into Thick Skin. This is standard across the board for any mag character, usually. And then I have 66 this patch into Ironclad, which reduces your damage taken against direct damage attacks by 22%. Then I just have 8 in the Spell Shield. Between 5 and 15, I've heard, is good. It's just spell resistance. Like, you have healers, you have wards, it's nothing essential, but if you do need it, it's just, the little bit can help and will benefit your character. Other than that, that is my build. You can also run this for food. Clockwork City Fillet. You have to have perfect row to make this, which is a shit ton of money and just time costly. So I have 3 of them. That's why I have 3 of them. You don't necessarily have to use it, but it just gives you a little bit more max health recovery, which is completely pointless. Max health, max magicka, which is important. Mag recovery, which is a little bit more than Witch Mothers. Oh no, same. A little bit more max magic. Yeah. Solitude Salmon is, like I said, what I run. Trash, Essence of Magicka if you're just doing dungeons. And then Spell Power Pots. Yay! For testing, trials, you must have these in trials, just do it. Yeah. Other than that, for this patch though, I am working on a video, hopefully soon, to test out Zaan. So Zaan is this new set that came out with Dragon Bones that is incredibly high in damage. Honestly, it's overwhelming. It's a monster set that comes out of one of the new dungeons here in the new patch. It pretty much does an insane amount of flame damage. It's increased for 50% over a certain amount of time, continuing to do flame damage, and it's just unreal. So I'm going to hopefully get that soon, test that out on the test dummy and see what we're hitting. I do recommend any diehard Mag DKs to keep playing. Don't stop playing these characters. Like, I know this patch, Magnite Blades, Mag Storks are in best of slot. I do agree. Play them, get good at them, but don't forget about your Mag DKs. Just kind of work towards improving them. We're as rare as it is. So, that's about it. So, thanks for kind of watching here. I hope this helped a little bit. I have other videos on my rotation, which can kind of go through. But other than that, thanks for watching.